back and down. Tuck your chin into your chest. Take a little nice breath here. Create some length at the back of the spine. The shoulders be heavy. And then as it feels good to you, just start some gentle movement through the neck and shoulders, taking some neck circles from side to side. Taking about 3 more, starting to work into your breath. And then let your head fall down. Bring your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers, and let both elbows aim for the ground. Create that length up the back of the spine. You might feel a gentle tug from the head all the way down through the middle or the lower back here. And then go ahead and lift up, open the arms, lift your heart, and try to peel those elbows away. So you might have a little bit of tension there. Very good. And then go ahead and release, give it a nice shake out. We'll take the right arm across the body, hook the left elbow, and just gently draw that right bicep, tricep across without twisting just yet. Nice. And then keep that elbow hooked. Just draw them both elbows to the middle line. Bend the right elbow and see if you can come into your eagle arms here. So think about separating the scapula. The shoulder blades are going to separate here. Got it. Nice release. Bring the arms behind you, interlace the fingers, open the heart, knuckles drag down towards the floor. You can even do reverse prayer here if that feels good. And go ahead and release. Let's take that left arm across, hook the elbow first, draw that arm across the body, but see if you can keep both elbows straight and square. And then bring the elbows back into the midline. Bend the left arm. See if you can grab the thumb with your fingers here. Separate out the shoulder blades. And then go ahead and release. One more time, interlace the fingers behind you. See if you can press the heels of the hands together. And this time, fold forward slightly. If you have more room to move than I do, you might bring your forehead all the way down to the ground. Otherwise, just kind of leaning towards the legs, lifting the heart or the hands up to lower the body. And then go ahead and inhale all the way up. Let's go ahead and extend those legs long out in front of you, and keeping the feet just like out there in front of you. The legs are nice and long. Take an easy twist. So bring your right hand to your left leg, sweep the left arm behind, and just twist behind you. So nice and gentle. And we're gonna go to the other side. Uh-oh, dog fight. Then we're gonna have the left to the outside of the right arm and look out over the right shoulder. And then come back through center. We're going to take, so there's 2 different kinds of folds you can do when you fold forward. One is hinging from the hips with a flat back. That's a little bit extreme up the back side of the body. We're going to take what's called caterpillar. You're going to tuck your chin, create a little bit of a flexion there, and then you're just going to keep rounding. So round the upper back. You can even bring a little bend. I like to put my hands underneath my knees to just take a little bend in the knees and just let yourself roll forward here. Nice. And use your hands, pull yourself all the way back up, sitting up nice and tall. Walk your right leg out towards the right, put the left foot inside. And then this time we are going to twist. We're going to twist and look over the right leg and then hinge down, flat back, fold over that right leg. So I like to bring my opposite hand to the outside of the foot, and it helps to kind of deepen this twist. Lifting back up, inhale to come all the way up to seated. Let's take this stretch to the other side. Right foot comes to the inseam of the left leg. Twist and turn so you're looking towards your left toes. Right hand might come to the foot or to the outside of the calf, or if you have the space, you might bring your hand to the outside of the foot. Then go ahead and lift all the way back up. So before we're gonna get the core kind of warmed up here before we go anywhere. So just bring your feet to the mat in front of you, bend the knees, and then roll back so that you're on your pockets. If yoga pants had pockets, you're on your pockets here. And then maybe float the right foot and maybe the left foot. I'm holding on behind. You can float your hands if that feels good. And then I like to keep my hands here so that I can encourage my heart to lift up. Nice. And then either hands come down to the mat or float over the floor, palms up or down, it doesn't really matter. And then we're just going to reach that left foot down and lift it back up, and then the right foot and lift it back up. So you can hold on here one leg at a time, left and right, or you can let them float, left and right. Lost count. I think we have two more. Left, the variation of a dead bug. And this is like seriously no joke. I'm shaking like crazy. Left and right. Find your way back to this half boat. Lift all the way up and then lower down. Bring those knees with you. Give yourself a nice little hug. Rock and roll a little side to side. Beautiful. Stretch out nice and long. Left leg reaches long. Right leg reaches long. Enjoy that stretch. And then we're going to do some yogi bicycles, nice and slow. Fingertips come behind the head. Right knee bends back into that tabletop. Lift head, heart, and shoulder. And we're just going to turn left elbow to right knee. Tap. Switch and go right elbow, left knee. So if you can get the inside of the knee or the outside or maybe just the front, back to the left and the right. You're trying to get that shoulder blade off the mat each time. Nice and slow. Anybody can do this fast, but if you go a little bit slower, you're going to really feel the obliques here. So the sides of your core. 3, 2, 1. And again, feet come down, arms reach overhead. Take that nice big stretch here. Grab behind the knees, rock and roll. And we're coming all the way across and around and come down onto your belly. So there's probably a better way to get there, but that's how I decided to do it today. So we are on our belly. Our arms are out in front of us. Our feet are behind us. The forehead's on the mat. And we're just going to inhale and lift the head, the heart, the shoulders. You're on the lower ribs here. Feet are pressing into the mat and you're reaching your arms long. So if you need to keep the hands down to do this, you absolutely can. You're working your back strength a little bit more if you can lift the fingers. And then go ahead and fold your hands underneath your head and lower down. Now we're going to do the same thing with the feet. You're just going to lift the thighs up off the mat, push your feet behind you. Use your head on your hands to kind of anchor you down as you lift. And then lower down. And then if you probably guessed, we're going to do both hands and feet. So fingers reach out in front of you. You're going to lift head, heart, shoulders, maybe the arms, maybe the feet. Palms face each other. You can look straight down for 3, for 2, and then hands come to the mat. Help yourself all the way back into that child's pose. It should feel nice and juicy to roll over the thighs. The forehead comes down. You can even bring the arms around behind you. Walk the hands back out in front of you. Find your way to your downward facing dog. So just curl the toes under, lift the hips up and back. Drop your head and find your way into whatever dog feels good for you here. Maybe pedal out the feet. And then look up towards the hands. We're going to walk the feet behind the wrists. We're going to take a wide stance here. So bringing your feet a little bit wider than your hips. Melt down between the legs and grab opposite elbows and just rock a little side to side. You can bend the knees and sway. Grabbing opposite elbows. Nice. Let's take a little twist here. Right hand is underneath. So I brought my block out. If you have a block handy and want to use it, you can put your block underneath your face and use that to help you find a little bit more space. You don't need it. You can always float your hand. You can bring your hand to your opposite leg. I'm just floating that left arm up towards the sky, and then bring that left arm down and float the right arm up towards the sky. We're going to put that right hand down, bend the right knee, and then open up a little bit deeper this time. So really allow yourself to kind of scooch that left hip up, right hip down, and then back the other way. Bending the left knee, reaching up and looking. Nice. Both hands come down. We're going to sink into our yogi squat. So again, the block is really helpful here. If you know that that's a tough pose for you, you can place that underneath where you're going to land. Slide your hips down until you are on the block, and then bring hands to heart center. And of course, without the block, it looks exactly the same, just without the fancy block. Maybe you sway a little side to side. Hands come to the mat. Find your way back to that wide-legged forward fold. We're going to step back with that left foot. So find a half lift. Step the left foot back. You're going to tap it down. Walk that right foot about one step inside and find your way up to a warrior two. I'm having clothing issues today. Reach long with the right hand, sink into this nice low warrior two. We're going to flip the palm, reverse the warrior. Look down at the floor, right arm reaches up and over. And then straighten that right leg, find your way to your triangle. So let's modify this triangle on the first one. Right hand comes to the shin, left arm reaches up. So I know you can go deeper, but for this first one, we're just going to hang out right here. And then back to that warrior two. We're going to take this warrior into a surfer lunge or Skarsdasana. So you're going to sink down over that left foot. So just sitting down, my heel comes up. A lot of people can do this with their heel down. Your left hand comes to the mat and your right arm is going to reach up. Your right toes reach up. You're just going to stretch into this nice side shape here. And then we're going to bring that right hand down, lean back into that right foot. We're coming into a wide-legged forward fold. Toes are parallel to the side of the mat, or your feet are out parallel to the sides of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Nice. Turn the right toes to the right, bend the knee. Plant that left foot down and reach your arms out and open for that warrior two one more time. Maybe a little deeper this time. Nice. Reverse. Inhale, stretch. Maybe a little deeper this time. And then exhale, straighten the right leg, hinge from the hip. Maybe your triangle comes all the way down to the mat, or you can use that block. Back into that warrior two. And then we're coming back into that Skarsdasana one more time. You can use your hands or not. I don't need my hands on this side, but when I get to the other side, I absolutely will as I fall over. Inhale, right arm all the way up. Nice. Use your hands to help you. We're going to turn towards the back of the mat and find a nice low lunge. So you're just going to turn so your toes and everything is facing the back of the mat. Your hands are on the mat. You can rock a little forward and back here. Nice. And then go ahead and tap that right foot down. Left foot stays right where it is. Warrior two, second side. Go ahead and reverse. Remember, we're taking it easy on this side. Straighten the leg, hinge from the hips, find your way to your triangle. Hand is on your shin for this first one. Nice. Skarsdasana, second side. So come to your warrior first. You're going to turn your right toes a little bit out towards the right and then sit down onto this right side and lift the left arm up. Nice. And then into that wide-legged forward fold. Use your hands to help you melt down between the legs. Inhale, half lift. Left toes turn back to the top of the mat. Find your way back to that warrior two. I'm just going to float through that one more time. Flip the palm, reverse. Triangle pose. Maybe this time you come all the way down to the mat. Nice. Warrior two. Into that surfer lunge on that back leg. Again, if you can do it without using your hands, go right ahead. I can't on this side. I'll reach all the way up. And we're going to take that lunge to the back of the mat. Use your hands to help you. Lift your hips as you spin onto the left toes, the right foot facing the front of your mat. Maybe you rock a little forward and back here. Maybe you don't do any of those things. Nice. And then go ahead and step forward with that back foot, forward fold, top of the mat, melt down between the legs, grab opposite elbows, shake a little side to side. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant your hands. We're going to step back into your tabletop shape. So knees come down, hands underneath the shoulders. And we're going to flush it out with some cats and cows. So press into the mat, round through the back, tuck the chin, hollow out the belly. Inhale, lift. Heart lifts, open up. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. And back through tabletop. So now we're adding on here. We're going to reach that right leg out behind you. You can keep it tacked right on the floor. Keep those toes curled under and float the left arm off the mat. If you want to work stronger, you're going to float that back leg. You don't have to. You can stay right here. Looks like this if you're floating. Nice. And then just go ahead and place the left hand down. Lift that right leg if you didn't already, and then just tuck it up underneath you and step between the hands. Find your way to that low lunge. Reach the arms all the way up. Once you get the arms all the way up, reach up, look up, maybe open up into cactus here. Enjoy a nice big back bend. And then exhale, hands to the mat. Step that right foot back. Tabletop. We'll take 3 of those cats and cows. 3 cats, 3 cows on your own breath. Nice. Left foot steps back, tack those toes down, float the right arm. You have a choice. You can hang out right here. This is perfect. Getting some nice core work here. You can really play around. When you keep the foot down, you can play around with squaring off the hips, lifting up the core, pushing into the mat, drawing the biceps back by your ear. You kind of lose a little bit of that when you float that back leg. The tendency is to overarch here. Really pulls into the weakness of the back. Right hand comes down. Pull the left knee in, step through between the hands, reach the arms all the way up and open into your cactus. So you should feel this on that front of that back leg that's down. And then exhale, both hands come down, step back with that knee. And then sit back and down into your child's pose. You can stack your hands and bring your forehead on top of your hands, melt over the legs. Nice. Go ahead and walk your hands all the way forward. Curl the toes under. Find your way up and back into that downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet. Maybe walk them a little bit closer to the hands. Maybe you walk them a little bit wider. It's entirely up to you. It's your practice. Look up towards the hands. As many steps as it takes. Feet are behind the wrists this time, about hip width. Just going to melt down, bend the knees as deeply as you need to. Wrap the arms around behind the legs. Grab opposite elbows. Drop the hands. Inhale to lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Inhale, reach all the way up. Press palms, hands to heart center. Take a moment here and just be in the shape. Relax your shoulders, pull the hip points up and in. Let your tailbone reach down. Relax your shoulders. We'll take 3 rounds of breath here. So notice if you're uneven on your feet, you want all 4 corners of the feet to be pressing into the mat. You want to zip up the inner thighs at the same time, but feel length on the outside of your thighs. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up, press palms overhead, and then exhale, fold. Inhale, finding that half lift. Step the left foot back just about 3 feet, and we're just going to turn towards that left edge of the mat. Toes out, heels in. Sit down. Keep your hands on the mat to start with. Sit down into your goddess shape, bending the knees. Sway a little side to side to feel this shape. And then bring your right hand to your right knee, your left hand to your left knee, and then sit up over the hips. So you can rock a little side to side here until you get into your hips. And then once you feel kind of secure, sit down, hands to heart center, relax your shoulders. I know, easier said than done. Inhale, reach out with the arms. Exhale, stand up, press palms together. Exhale, stay right here, find length. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sit down. Inhale, reach the arms out into your goddess. Exhale, reach up. Inhale, sit down. One more, just like that. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, stand up. Inhale, sit down. We'll snap, crackle, pop. Right hand to right knee, left hand to left knee. Twist and look over the left shoulder. The right shoulder comes into the midline. Inhale, back through center. Exhale to the other side. And then all the way back down through the center. Lift or straighten the legs. Fold down between the legs. Find yourself into a wide-legged forward fold. And then walk your hands all the way back to the top of your mat. Step back, downward facing dog. We're going to hold here. This is our last dog of the practice. We've got 5 breaths here. You can nod your head, shake your head. Let the blood all reinvigorate your brain today here. It's not a Monday, but it feels like it. And then when you're ready, lower the knees down, sit on your booty, and come back to that very similar shape that we were in before. So the feet are on the mat. I promise we're not doing any more core. Feet are on the mat, the knees are bent. Use your hands to help you. And we're just gonna cross the left foot over the right knee and find your way to a seated figure 4. So this is probably enough. If you need more, if you don't feel a stretch here, you're just going to keep scooching in until you find that stretch up on the left side. Nice. Use your hands to lift the booty, sit back a little bit, draw the right foot out, left foot comes to the mat. Let's take our twist. So inhale, lift up, exhale, hook the elbow and look over the left shoulder. So this twist is less intense than the twist we take on the floor. Still a nice alternative. Unravel back through center. Nice. Extend your legs long down the mat. So unlike the caterpillar shape we took at the beginning where we're rolling, we are going to hinge from the hips here. So lift up, find your length, flex your toes. That's really important on this one. And then hinge. You can even put your thumbs in your hip creases as you hinge and fold forward, or just walk the hands towards the feet, melt down. Maybe even hooking the hands into the toes. Walk the hands back, bend the knees, we're going to the other side, right foot over the left. I should think about that. And find your way to that figure four. Maybe rocking the heels or the hips, maybe moving your heels closer to your booty. Nice. Use your hands, slide yourself back out, slide that left leg long, right foot comes to the mat outside the left leg, either hooking onto the outside of that knee or around the elbow, and look out over the back shoulder. Very nice. Come back through center, unwind, unravel, shake out your legs, and then find your way onto your back, all the way down. You can bring your block with you if you have one handy, or if you want to. We're going to do just a little teeny tiny bridge. So you might really just want to lift the hips up off the mat and kind of let them hang out there. If you have something handy and you want to slide it underneath and come on down and really just melt over the block and let the hips be higher than the shoulders. You can rest your hands on your hips or the hands on the mat. This feels quite delightful. Maybe letting the knees knock in. If you don't have a block and you're hanging out here, you can even interlace your fingers and stack and come down onto your arms. Cuts off the circulation in your arms, but it works for a makeshift block. So the whole point is just to get the hips up off the ground, a little bit higher than the heart. So always an option. Just have about 3 more rounds of breath here. Then go ahead and lift the hips, get the block or the hands or whatever you have underneath you off, out of the way, lower all the way down. Let's take a nice Apanasana hug. Wrap your arms around your shins, roll a little side to side. And then find your way to your Shavasana shape. Let your legs go long down the mat, your arms by your side. We did some hip opening, so if you feel like you might like it, you can bring the soles of your feet together and let the knees open up out to the side for a butterfly. Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined butterfly pose or cobbler pose.
I feel very safe, thank you. Yes. What else? Hi. Oh, yes.
Bringing movement to fingers and toes. If you have your legs in your Baddha Konasana, you can use your hands to draw those knees back together. Maybe windshield wipering. Rolling to your right side whenever it feels good for you. Letting your shoulders relax. Letting your jaw relax. being heavy with your head on your arm. And then using your hands to help you, find your way towards any seat that feels nice and comfy, whatever shape calls to you. Take a moment here to just feel good. Just feel good after your practice. Let yourself be calm, feel all loosey-goosey. And then whenever you're ready, bring your hands to your heart center, maybe bowing the head if you choose. Thank you for joining me on the mat today. Have a fabulous rest of your day, you guys. Namaste.